Those are the two speaker slips I have for J12. Please introduce yourself, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jim Beckett. I have a bit of a frog in my throat. I'm here to beseech our esteemed Alpine planning group to consider seriously the preservation of this wonderful resource that we have in our community here called Wright's Field, which I personally have availed myself of the opportunity of walking 2 or 3 times a week. Don't think I've seen many of you there over the last 2 or 3 years that I've done that, and I would commend it to you. It's a wonderful resource in this community. And I understand that there's a proposal that a piece of this property be reserved or set aside for some kind of development of, I think they call it improved park areas or something to that effect, where there is a swimming pool, tennis courts, and some baseball fields perhaps. All of which, of course, we would like to have here in Alpine. But as I understand it, some official committee here in the county has identified 10 other areas here in Alpine that would be suitable for this kind of developed park, whereas Wright's Field has been identified as a sanctuary or a preserve for all kinds of reasons to keep the wildness. So I would like to ask that we seriously implore our Alpine planning group to deny the proposal that it be used for any other purpose and that it be kept wild. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Jamie Cleveland. 3 minutes, please.
Thank you, and I thank you for the opportunity to address this issue.
That may be off. There's a little on-off switch. It's in the middle, on the body.
Is that better?
Perfect, thank you.
Is it still on this? I wanted to thank the planning group for the opportunity to speak on this issue, and I would reiterate some of the points that the previous speaker made. I've been a resident of Alpine for 24 years, and I'm a big supporter of parks in Alpine. I've raised 2 kids here who are here today. They're in college now, and I know what it's like. We need more parks in Alpine. We need more open space in Alpine. I believe that Wright's Field is a treasure that's unique to Alpine. It's right in the center of our community, and I believe the planning group should be doing what it can to protect it. And I see that I'm a professional archaeologist, and I've worked on secret projects for 27 years in California now, and I understand that this proposal to make part of the area that's called Wright's Field into an active park is actually a proposed mitigation measure for a project that would come under secret review. And I feel like it would be premature on the part of this group to move that agenda forward prior to the full environmental process. So I think that ought to be a consideration as well. Again, I'm a big supporter of parks in Alpine, and there has been a study done which has found better places for an active park. Wright's Field is best kept as passive open space. It's unique historically and ecologically. Thank you.
Thank you very much for video presentation.
This is a video my son did for school. It was motivated from school. It wasn't for a school project. We didn't get a grade for it. He was just pestering me about how important this field was, and I jumped in and My son is a representative of the future of Alpine. It's not about money. He doesn't get money. I don't get money by trying to make videos and supporting this. It's about leaving something for our children, part of Alpine's history. And it's a beautiful field. And if you spent half the time that most of us who love it has spent walking it, you'll feel the passion too. And this is just a very short video that my son did. And hopefully,
This is the one that's also on the website, correct?
no, it's not. This is his.
Hi, my name is Stephen Colburn, and I am a 7th grader at your school. I am here today to tell you about an important cause that will affect every one of you. The cause is preserving Wright's Field, and I need your help. You may not realize it, but right behind our school is a very special place. It's called Wright's Field, and it's special because it includes 6 habitats, 5 of which are endangered. So far, 230 acres of this field is protected, which means nobody will ever build homes on it. The protected area is the land around John McQueen Middle School. You have probably been in Wright's Field many times. People hike, ride horses, and bike there every day. It is used by many of our teachers as an outdoor classroom. It benefits us, and it benefits the wild animals and birds that live in it. The group of people who purchased the field around our school have the opportunity to purchase another 140 acres of land and add it to our existing preserve. This will protect the field from being surrounded by housing development in the future. If homes are built in this area, wildlife will be surrounded by houses and many will not survive. Just because we are young does not mean we cannot make a difference in saving Wright's Field. I have purchased buttons that say I love Wright's Field and would like to give one to every single student here. If you would like to help keep Wright's Field wild, please take a button and wear it every day until school ends. We need to show the people of Alpine that this is important to us and the future. Hopefully we will come back to Wright's Field when we are old and it will look exactly as it does today.
Before I go to Brad with some comments that he might have as the chair of the Park Subcommittee, what prompted this for everyone's edification is at the last meeting, this planning board voted to approve a priority list for Parks for Alpine. As many people know, we've been working for quite a while to find some parkland for Alpine. You may not be aware that Alpine, according to the county, has less active parks than any other community per capita in the county of San Diego. So we've been working very hard to find active park space, places where the kids have recreation areas. The Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to support and direct county staff to work with the community to find park space in Alpine, land that would be suitable. Both the Park Subcommittee of the Planning Group and the Park Subcommittee of the Revitalization effort have been working to locate land. And we found collectively a X amount of parcels, and Brad can maybe go into that a little bit more. The letter that we voted, and this group asked me to send to the supervisors, was that list of items, that list of lands that would serve as appropriate or possible active park space. This group voted, I think, unanimously, if I'm not mistaken, to support that letter. Well, during the past month, since we voted that request, the owner of the balance of Wright's field. And it should be clarified that there is approximately 145 acres that remain on Wright's field. There's about 200 or so that has already been purchased. I don't know the exact amount, but there's a couple hundred acres approximately that is already protected. It's owned by the Backcountry Land Trust. It's not going to be touched. That's not even up for discussion. The only part that is being discussed now is the 145 acres, which is on the eastern, primarily on the eastern side as you come out of the old ranch. That's what's being talked about. The fellow who owns that and who owned the majority of all of Wright's field, he's owned it for 45 years, the fellow who sold the portion that the Backcountry, or most of the portion that the Backcountry presently owns, his name is Richard Singer. He contacted me about a week and a half ago, or a week ago, I guess, and said, I want to make an offer to the community. He says, of the 145 acres that are remaining, he says, I'd like to donate, or talk about donating 83 acres of the property to the community for their use as active parks, perhaps put a library, ball fields. He wants things there that seniors could take advantage of, as well as young people. That was important to him. Pools, perhaps even performing arts center of some kind. He said that he would like the land donated, 83 of the 145 acres to be made available possibly for that purpose. In addition to the 83 acres, he's offering to donate, in addition to that, cash. He did not mention a term. Somebody else mentioned possibly $1 million to help offset the cost of developing it and building that park for the community. Well, based on his offer as the owner of the property, it is our responsibility to at least send that to the county to look at as a possible site. Every other site, I believe, that we're looking at is going to cost in the millions of dollars just to purchase. Is that correct? So it would be one site that would be looked at, that if it came through the way the owner of the property wants, would be available to this community as a donation, and then and with cash to help develop it. That's the offer. All we're doing at this point is talking about putting it on the letter as one of the many different possible sites. That's all it is for the county to look at. Now, I know there's a letter from the county from 03 that says that Wright's field is unsuitable. If the county feels that way or still believes that, then it will be taken off the list. We've closed the public comment. I'm sorry.
It's a question, Mark.
He doesn't
It's
want
a
to
question about what you just told us. It's just a question.
Yeah, but we're not going to, I can't start that because then it will go on and on.
No,
I'm happy to address your questions afterwards, one-on-one. It's important to note that what we would vote on tonight, and I don't know how the vote's going to go, I don't know if there's going to be a motion, but how it goes is just to add this offer of the 83 acres as a possibility on the list. And then the county is going to do what the county is going to do with it. So at this point, is there anything that I spoke incorrectly, Brad, or is there anything you want to add to my explanation?
Just a couple of comments. The number of park sites that were on our 5-year plan, which is a requirement of the city, of the county, to be able to spend the parkland development funds, was 5. And the county did their own park analysis on it, and then we voted on that. After that vote took place, one of those properties went into escrow. So now we're down to 4 sites, and one of them is, we're down to 3 sites, and one of them is the Albertson site. So we're talking about a very small area about behind Albertson. So the community's desires, and I know that a lot of people here tonight represent a group that might not agree with the survey that I have, where a large majority of our community wants active parks, they want pools, they want activities of this nature for young and old. So that is going to be difficult to accomplish on the sites that we have. And they are, at this point, we only have one property where you could put ball fields. So,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we have two. They're by one.
And what is the property that is no longer available?
That's the Fowler piece. That's in escrow. It's on our list, and it's the piece at the end of Alpine Boulevard.
And isn't that the one that I recall at the last meeting that there was high hopes for, that it was a pristine piece of property?
That's correct.
Thank you. So at this point, are there any other questions from the planning group?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
When you mentioned your litany of reasons for writing this letter, I don't think you stressed enough the fact that we did not vote on having you put Wright's Field on the list. And I'm really tired of good community-minded people being lied to and manipulated, all in the name of private gain. This so-called offer from Singer is specious. He has no right to offer anything. The land that you're talking about is an option to the Backcountry Land Trust.
Thank you, Jane.
It's extremely premature to talk about developing land that somebody else has an option on. And I think it's very poor of you to try to sneak that in to a list of park places. If we had pushed ahead with this Finger property, it was marvelous. It wouldn't be an escrow to somebody else now. And we're going to keep doing this while you keep trying to get Wright's Field developed. And I'm very tired of hearing this.
Thank you,
Just
Jane.
as a point of clarification, the owner of the property, and again, he's owned it for 45 years, told me, because I asked that very question. I said, I understand that that there's an option on it by the Backcountry Land Trust, and they've exercised the option with the non-refundable $50,000 deposit, because that's what we were told. So I said, is it improper for you to be making such an offer? And his words to me were that in the option agreement, he has the right to market his property. That is in the agreement that is signed and agreed to by the Backcountry Land Trust. He has a right to do it under law. You may not like it, I may not like it, this audience may not like it, but the owner of the property who has owned it and been paying taxes on it for 45 years has that right. He's exercising his right in the same way the Backcountry Land Trust has exercised their right to purchase or to exercise the option. I suggest that the Backcountry Land Trust hurry up and pay the X amount of millions that it's going to cost, and then this issue goes away. As soon as the Backcountry Land Trust buys it, he no longer owns it, his rights are gone, and the Backcountry Land Trust controls it. So that is what exists under law for the owner, and he is an attorney. Yes, Brad, did you want to say something?
No, that covers it.
Okay, thank you. Paul Rohal.
Yes. Right now, we don't have anything in writing from the owner. We don't have a letter of offer. We don't have conditions. We're talking here about something that was said to you, and we have nothing in writing.
Well,
The thing that's going on right now is Wright's Field is in negotiations with I guess it's the Apollo Group. Is that correct? The Apollo Group?
Apollo Group is the company that's headed by Singer, or the entity, I guess, that's headed by Singer.
So.
In fact, in his letter, by the way, just to clarify, I did mention that he sent a letter with the offer. Here it is, and it's Richard Singer, General Partner of Apollo Growth Group Limited.
Does anybody else have a copy of that? From the planning group?
The Parks Subcommittee has a copy.
Oh, they do.
And anybody who would like a copy is welcome to email me, and I'll be happy to send it to them.
But in any case, I never saw an offer, I've never seen anything in writing. I think we should have had that long before now if we were gonna even talk about this tonight. But,
If you
you know,
have it,
while this is in
please
negotiations, I think we need to stand back from it. It's something that's inappropriate for us to be doing, is to get in the middle of negotiations right now. We should let that thing run its course, and if the negotiations fail and he still wants to offer us land, great. But right now is not a good time for us to be meddling in that business. It's inappropriate, if not illegal. Now, Singer can tell you whatever he wants, but I just don't think it's the right thing to do, is to be meddling in something that's in a negotiation effort. It could change the value of the property for the Backcountry Land Trust, where they couldn't afford it by something that we did here, either consciously or unconsciously. So I would say that we're going to muddy the waters if we add something to the list that we're sending down to the county. You know, why don't you put a cover sheet on the letter that you got from Singer, send that down separately if you want to do that, but you know, don't muddy the waters by putting this on a 5-year plan, because there's no need to it. And if there is a motion made, I certainly won't support it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Brad Bailey for purposes of the motion.
Will leave now?
Let's get a motion on the floor, and then I'll recognize you next for a comment. Brad?
I think the motion that we
See the letter?
include this into our letter for the park prioritization list.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Larry Erdahl seconds it. Okay, Joe Forlenza.
Mark has a
Forlenza.
copy of this letter, how come everybody
Forlenza.
else doesn't?
I attended the Parks Subcommittee and I voted at the last APG meeting based on the outcome of that subcommittee meeting, which made sense to me. It's my understanding that there's been no major new park development in Alpine in the last decade or so. All along, the process has been marred by the cumulative effect of missteps. Right now, we need to put our personal interests aside and focus our energies on providing the citizens of this great town a park with ball fields, gardens, facilities, all in total for an active park. To jeopardize this golden opportunity that we have right before us at this time for a tentative development proposal is a waste of time and valuable hard-earned tax dollars. The project is one which is riddled with environmental law, mitigation issues, and probable lawsuits. The site has already been rejected by the county as a park. We need to get down to business and provide a rational parks plan for the town of Alpine and keep our personal self-interest out of this. I also want to state for the record that I object to anyone voting on this item who has a personal financial interest in, on, or around the proposed project. Basic ethics requires this. I, for one, do not want to be the cause of losing yet another opportunity for the people and children of Alpine.
Thank you. Any other comments on that? Brad Bailey?
I just want to say that would preclude anybody from voting.
Well, that's the
I don't have an
problem.
interest.
You have an interest, you have a beneficial interest, you just said, and the fact that we would stand by when somebody's made an opportunity is ludicrous. You gotta explore everything, don't interrupt me. It's silly to say that we wouldn't have anything on our parks list. They were negotiating on other properties, okay? So you're telling us two different signals. All we're doing is we want to explore this as a possibility.
Wait, Joe, I don't want to get back. Let me see if anyone else has comments, and then we'll come back. Yes, John.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I don't know whether you recall or maybe Mr. Bradley does, but it seems to me that Alpine's park fund from developers that pay into the park funds by building permits is less than about $100,000, because of the last improvements that we did, pretty much washed it out. So that's the money that builds parks in Alpine, and we don't have any. And I think it's wrong for us to not add this to the list. If 200 plus acres is already preserved, we don't know whether this guy is going to do a tentative map or not. This has got nothing to do with a tentative map. And you know, I just can't see how you can't put an active park next to 200 acres of already preserved open space. With a, you know, I mean, there would be things like interpretive centers that would lead to trails, etc. And really, the county's going to be the one to decide what we do or what they do with our list. So I would be in favor of this.
Any other comments from anyone? Seeing none, hearing none, I'll recognize, did you have something, Jane?
Yes.
Okay, Jane, Fitz, and then Joe Forlenza, and then we'll call the question.
The county has already decided that Wright Field is no place for an active park. This whole proposal is an attempt to develop part of Wright's Field with houses. And if by some weird means houses were built there, it would be required to have mitigation land to offset the destruction of the land that the houses would cause. So this is not a donation. This is required mitigation. Also, there's absolutely no reason to try to do this on Wright Field. I feel that it's a blatant attempt on the part of the chairman to curry favor with his developer friends. I'm wondering if
Keep laughing, I have a close-up of you, okay?
You're the only one who has the letter. Nobody else on the planet has your letter from the private guy.
Thank you. Joe Forlenza?
Yes, I just want to say that I do not have any financial interest in Wright's Field, in or about it, anywhere about it. The monies to the developers, I suppose Alpine has been developed for the last 10 years. There has been no parks that have been developed in the last 10 years. And I think that this delay that we've already encountered probably cost us to file the property, and that we weren't able to act immediately upon it as we felt was urgent in the subcommittee meetings. I think we need to clear the air and just get a proposal on that's not controversial. You can add this for discussion in a subcommittee, and I would recommend to amend the motion to move it to subcommittee for consideration into the 5-year plan.
Do you accept that amendment to the motion?
No.
The amendment's not accepted. Thank you. All right, I'm going to call a question. Before I do, just a comment. You know, it's interesting sitting here and getting accused as often as we do of breaking the law or doing things wrong or doing things that aren't in accordance with the rules. And I want to remind everyone that's here that the same people who keep making those accusations are the same people who caused the county to spend taxpayer dollars to have county council look into these allegations, these accusations. And each and every time they've been proven to be false. They said that we broke the law and broke the rules as a conflict of interest. Just this past month, county council spent taxpayer money looking into your allegations, and it was just as I said. Get that close up now.
Got it.
It was just as I said. It was a false accusation. It was an attempt by some members to browbeat other members. It wasn't long ago where some folks, the same folks, said that we broke the law with regards to the Brown Act. That caused the county council to look into that. Found out that wasn't true. Time and time and time again, certain few people keep making these allegations and figure that the allegations of wrongdoing are all that's important. Fact, truth, doesn't enter into it. Just make the allegations and put it out there in the newspaper by 40, 50 people, and that's all you need to do. Let's try to destroy people's reputation. Let's destroy their honor, regardless of whether the allegations have any truth, merit, fact. There are people who are somewhat devoid of ethics and morals, in my judgment, in how they act or react. But so far, County Council, in every single case that you've caused them to spend taxpayer money investigating this, has proven this planning board to be right, legal, and above board 100%. So I stand by the judgment that this planning group has made. We've tried to do right by the whole community, and I trust that we'll continue to do that. With that, I'll ask the secretary to please call the roll. A yes vote will add the 83-acre offer to the letter going to the Board of Supervisors.
It's our money.
Before I
We wanna
call,
spend it.
could I get a repeat of the motion again? So I can break it down, please.
Brad?
I'd like to add the 80 acres to the prioritization letter goes to the county. We comply with a 5-year plan for parkland development ordinance funds.
Okay, Brad Bailey,
Yes.
Pat Cannon,
Yes.
Jane Fitz,
Absolutely not.
Joe Forlenza,
No.
John Goddard,
Yes.
Scott Lamb,
Yes.
Jim Mowry,
Yes.
Mark Price,
Yes?
Paul Rohal.
I'm going to abstain from voting on this. I think this is inappropriate to be voting on.
Larry Erdahl, yes. David Waitley,
Yes.
Georgia Wood,
Yes.
I could've told you that before they.
9 yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
What a
Next
surprise.
item on the
What a
list
surprise.
is